Alright, welcome back. Here we got a custom unit. This right here is for a buddy of mine, 113 out in the Carolinas. You don't know him, you probably will. He's actually picked up a couple toys from him, and I know he's been waiting here very patiently for this guy. What we have here, it's a 2 driving 8. It's all 2879s. I know a lot of folks here that they actually prefer the 2879 drivers as your traditional, your 2290s, just because they have a little more punch. And as always, you definitely won't find a DEI in our boxes. So this right here, it's all Toshiba. Definitely pay for what you get. So, and just to give you an idea here, it's all internal switching power supplies. Now this one's actually slightly different from some of the others that we've done before in the past. All the ones that we have shown are actually on operate off of 110. This guy right here is currently operating off 220 at the moment. And I do recommend 220 over these big boxes. So anything over an 8 pill, I would say a 220 would be your perfect match. And I know some guys here, they will run a 110 off a custom breaker setup that they've constructed, and especially if you're really into the big toys and a dedicated circuit, it's always a plus. Okay, let me go ahead and just show you what we have here. Now it's a pretty basic amp. I mean, it has some bells and whistles here. We do have the switchable biasing. Basically right here, it's I don't have anything labeled here at the moment, but right here it's going to be in C class. Here, AB. So that's perfect if if you guys like talking sideband, or you're definitely into the hi-fi audio. These things work phenomenal. All right, and here we have the variable power control. Just controls the input of the 2-pill driver. Okay, and let's go ahead and take it for a test spin. As always, we're going to be using our single final Washington, and I'm just going to shut her down just to show you guys exactly what we're getting out of it, or what kind of driver we're going to be putting into this box here. Okay. Audio check, check, check. Hello, come in. Okay, looks like we're getting about 17 watts altogether. Now, 17 watts is enough to drive this box with no problem. And you don't want to overdrive these amps just because they already have its own internal driver built inside of it, so they're very sensitive when it comes to drive. A lot of people think, if you have a 2 driving 8, it's like, hey, wait a minute, I got a 10 pill. Well, not really. You have an 8 pill, but the 2 pill is your driver, so you really kind of don't count that in your total equation. So basically, I would say anything, especially if you have an export radio that says dead keys like 2 to 3 watts, swinging anywhere between 30 to 40 watts, this thing will drive it like no other. I mean, that would be perfect combination. The killer of these boxes here, especially with internal drivers, is your carrier. Carrier always has to be between 2 to 3 watts. Anything more is definitely too much stress, and your audio is definitely going to tank big time. So, keep your carrier low, 2 to 3 watts, let her swing on up, and this thing will be crisp and clear. Okay, so let's go ahead and take it for a test spin. Alright, and as you can see, no voltage spikes here, so we're running just a hair under 15 volts. Okay, let's go here to the LP100A. Okay, single final. No additional drivers, just the amp doing its magic. Audio. Okay, it's almost about 1200. Audio. There we go. So usually when it's testing, I'm getting roughly almost near about 1300 watts. Audio breaker. And actually, here, let me just do a quick little demonstration as I'm keying. Audio. So as you can see, we fluctuate maybe about a volt, maybe just a hair more. But I tell you, these power supplies are definitely a way to go. One thing that's a real killer on these bass amps is when you have the old school cast iron transformers, you know, with no regulator, nothing like that. You know, you're hitting about 20 volts at float. You know, and sometimes on load you hit about 16 volts up on key, which is fine and stuff. But the only problem is if you're trying to get crisp, clear audio, especially in biasing and stuff like that, it can be a little bit of a hassle because it kind of definitely stretches the pills and definitely causes your amp here to get completely out of whack. So this is it right here, 2x8, and I definitely hope, like I said before, as far as the drive, you can easily get about 1500 to 1600 watts out with just, now these things are very sensitive in drive now, like I was saying before. So I'm only hitting it with like maybe about 15 watts. You hit it about 30 watts, this thing right here is really going to take off the scale. I wouldn't be surprised even if you saw the 2K mark off of it. But this is pretty much what I have here to operate off of. I do have export radio, but I completely stay away from them because they will show you big numbers, and I just kind of want to show, pretty much out of the box on a basic, peak and tune what you expect to get. So, because I know that's normally what's out there, but you definitely expect higher numbers. But we just try to keep it real, let everyone know exactly what you're going to get. So here it is, 2 driving 8, all 2879s. And I should have a motor mall video for you here. 113, we got that one coming up for you, bud. And stay tuned. 73rds, fellas.